Scientists and technologists are essential in a developing world. They are one of the key players in a country's quest for industrialization. They are the lifeblood of research, innovation, and have important roles in the industry and manufacturing sector. Together with their roles in nation building, scientists too have a responsibility to advocate for the betterment of science and technology in their countries. For the Philippines, in order to halt the vicious cycle of technological backwardness and poverty, it is important that scientists and technologists themselves be aware of the sad plight of science and technology in the country and to advocate for its improvement. Despite negative connotations about our country and our slow progress, the following Filipino scientists or inventors made famous contributions amidst challenges and difficulties. First on the list is Mr. Francisco Quisumbing. He is a Filipino chemist who finished studies from the University of Chicago as American-sponsored pensionado. So you remember our discussion in the American colonization where pensionados are the scholars of the country who studied abroad. He is famous for his invention of the Quink trademark ink that is used in Parker pens. So Quink stands for Kisumbing ink. It cleans the pen as it writes and dries quickly on paper but remains liquid inside the pen. I don't know if you are familiar with this pen, pero kung meron kang ganitong ball pen, aba, chuchal ka kasi yung mga Parker pens ay kadalasang ginagamit ng mga executives kasi medyo may kamahalan nga. Pero maganda yung technology nito dahil sa invention ni Mr. Francisco Quisumbing. Next is Dr. Abelardo Aguilar. For patients suffering from bacterial infections of the respiratory tract, skin, urinary tract, and soft tissue, especially those who are allergic to penicillin, erythromycin is a lifesaver. So if you remember penicillin, which was discovered by Alexander Fleming, ito ay isang antibiotic na lumalaban sa mga bacteria in the bodies. But some people are allergic to this kind of antibiotic. So, anong choice nila? Wala silang choice nun. But because of the invention of or the discovery of the erythromycin by Dr. Abelardo Aguilar, no, nagkaroon ng breakthrough sa medicine. Erythromycin is a macrolide, a type of antibiotic that stops the growth of bacteria by inhibiting bacterial protein production. It's also a testament to Filipino brilliance and proof of how corporate interests can trample over the rights of individual thinkers and creators. Well, this is one of the sad stories I've heard, no? Pagka pinag-uusapan yung mga brilliant personalities in our history. It was in 1949 when a Filipino physician, si Dr. Abelardo Aguilar nga, found something remarkable in Ilonggo soil. So he's from Iloilo. A drug representative for U.S. pharmaceutical company named Eli Lilly and Company. Aguilar was studying samples he obtained from Molo Cemetery, no? Some accounts refer to it as his own backyard daw, and stumbled upon a species of bacteria called Sakura foliesphora erythrea, formerly Streptomyces erythraeus. No, mukhang na-murder ko yung pronunciation. Anyway, taking note of the antibacterial activity he observed, he sent the sample to the company's research laboratory. So, si company, yung Eli Lilly scientist, no, isolated erythromycin from the sample and officially marketed the antibiotic to the public in 1952. They sold it under the names Ilosone and Iloticin, no? Kasi nga it's from Iloilo, kaya dun siya pinangalan, acknowledging where the antibiotic came from. But unfortunately, beyond the name tribute and his regular salary from the company, no, Aguilar received no further credit or compensation for his groundbreaking discovery. Aguilar was allegedly promised a trip to the company's manufacturing plant in Indianapolis, but it was never fulfilled. In a letter to the company's president, Aguilar wrote, "A leave of absence is all I ask. I do not wish to serve or severe rather my connection with a great company which has given me wonderful breaks in life." This request was also not granted. Eventually, Aguilar parted ways with the company, devoting the rest of his professional career to providing medical services in Iloilo City. He treated even the patients who could not afford to pay him, earning him a reputation as a doctor of the poor. Aguilar reached out to Eli Lilly one last time in 1993, requesting royalties from sales of the drug over the years. Kasi itong erythromycin na to, kung hindi nyo napapansin, no, pagka binigyan kayo ng antibiotics, minsan ito yung ibibigay sa inyo. So hanggang ngayon, ginagamit pa rin itong discovery na to. Now, sadly, yung final request niya, asking for the royalties nga because he's planning to put up a foundation for poor and sickly Filipinos. Sadly, this final request met the same fate as his earlier ones. He died in September of the same year, deprived of what he deserved. So, the government took notice. Si Secretary Juan Flavier, which was the former health secretary and senator, no, sinabi niya to dun sa company, pero unfortunately, no, sabi ng company hindi daw talagang sila nagbibigay ng royalties or compensation beyond salaries and benefits ng kanilang mga empleyado. So very sad, 'di ba? Late nang na-notice din na si Dr. Abelardo pa lang naka-discover nung erythromycin, 'di ba? Si Gregorio Zarra naman is a Filipino scientist, best known as the inventor of the video phone. So, kung meron tayong Zoom ngayon and Google Meet, no, noon naman merong tinatawag na video phone. No, this is the first two-way electronic video communicator in 1955. All told, he patented 30 devices. His other inventions range from an alcohol-powered airplane engine to a solar-powered water heater and stove. This one is, I think, one of the interesting inventions, no? Kasi malapit sa puso natin ito. At saka, talagang ni-revolutionize niya yung music industry. Roberto Del Rosario invented his version of karaoke machine between 1975 and 1977. And his patents, he described his sing-along system as a handy, multi-purpose compact machine that incorporates an amplifier speaker. One of two mechanisms, an optional tuner or radio, and a microphone mixer with features to enhance one's voice, such as the echo or reverb to simulate an opera hall or a studio sound. The whole system was enclosed in one cabinet casing. So, ito yung ginagamit natin na karaoke ngayon, no? May mga nagsasabing, hindi, Japanese invention talaga yan, no? But the main reason we know of Del Rosario's contribution is because he sued Japanese companies kasi for the patent infringement in the 1990s. In the court case, the Philippine Supreme Court decided Del Rosario's favor. He won the legal recognition and some of the money, but in the end, the Japanese manufacturers reaped most of the benefits by later innovation. So, dahil nga may mga innovations nila for the invention, no, mas na-improve nila yung technology niya. Kaya sila yung nakikinabang ngayon at parang kilalang sa kanila nag-originate yung karaoke. Pero originally, no, kung patent ang pag-uusapan, si Roberto Del Rosario ang nauna. Ito most likely na-encounter nyo na or na-meet nyo na nung high school o kaya nung elementary sa mga science books ninyo, no? Si Dr. Fe Del Mundo. Dr. Fe Del Mundo pioneered numerous innovations throughout her more than 70-year medical career. A committed humanitarian, Del Mundo dedicated her life to the health of the world's children. She is the first Asian woman admitted into Harvard. Social, di ba? She pursued graduate studies in America after receiving her medical degree from the University of the Philippines. She returned to the Philippines during World War II and established a children's branch of a Japanese internment camp and directed the Manila's Children's Hospital. She headed the Department of Pediatrics at Far Eastern University for more than 2 decades and founded the Children's Medical Center Foundation, which still exists today, no, in 1957, bringing medical care to rural Filipino families with no health care, saving children dying from dehydration and establishing family planning clinics. Del Mundo also established the Institute of Maternal and Child Health, which trains doctors and nurses. Del Mundo revolutionized Philippine medicine, making major breakthroughs in immunization and the treatment of jaundice, and providing healthcare to thousands of poor families. She's credited with studies that led to the invention of the incubator and jaundice relieving device, while her methods like the brat diet for curing diarrhea have spread throughout the world and saved millions. She was the president of the medical Women's International Association, the first female president of the Philippine Pediatric Society, an honorary member of the American Pediatric Society, and a consultant of the World Health Organization. She has been honored with the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Public Service by a private citizen and 15th International Congress of Pediatrics Award as most outstanding pediatrician and humanitarian. She died in 2011. So, itong isa sa mga scientists natin, rather, no, si Fel Del Mundo, napatunayan niya na kahit babae siya, meron siyang puwang pagdating sa pag-improve ng science and technology. Eduardo San Juan naman graduated from Mapua Institute of Technology, and he then studied nuclear engineering at the University of Washington, and in 1978 San Juan received one of the 10 outstanding men awards in science and technology. Why? Because mechanical engineer Eduardo San Juan, aka the Space Junkman, worked on the team that invented the lunar rover, or what we call moon buggy. In 1971, the moon buggy was first used during the Apollo mission, landing to explore the moon. So parte pala tayo ng history na yon, no? The lunar rover was a battery-powered four-wheeled rover also used on the moon in the last 3 missions of the American Apollo program. No, the lunar rover was transported to the moon on the Apollo lunar module, no, and once unpacked on the surface, could carry 1 or 2 astronauts and their equipment and the lunar samples. The 3 LRVs remains on the moon. O, diba? Imagine yung disenyo ni Eduardo San Juan na pinili ng NASA nung nagkaroon sila ng contest regarding its design, no, ay nandun pa hanggang ngayon sa moon. So talagang napaka laking ambag ni Eduardo San Juan, no, not only for the Philippines history but the world's history when it comes to space exploration. Ito naman, another graduate of Mapua Institute of Technology. Kung mahilig kayong gumamit ng computer at kung may ginagamit tayong computer ngayon at like laptop, no, pasalamat tayo sa taong ito. Why? Because he is an innovator. No, Banataw is credited for devising a more efficient way to link computers by simplifying the computer design with fewer chips that has made computers smaller, more portable, and more affordable. So without his invention, no, baka yung mga computers na ginagamit natin ngayon malalaki pa din, no, o kaya isang buong room pa din. His inventions are believed to make up to 30% of every computer in the world today. Imagine, kaya nga siya yung tinatawag ng Bill Gates ng Pilipinas kasi maliban sa multi-millionaire na siya, no, even in the US, no, isa pa rin siya sa pinaka-maimpluwensyang tao ngayon pala sa mundo. Hindi lang siguro natin naririnig masyado lagi sa balita kasi nga iba yung nagbe-benefit minsan kapag may na-imbento yung Pilipino, no, at ang ibang bansa nag-manufacture, no, iba yung minamarket, di ba, yung brand lang mismo. Pero kung tutusin, yung mga tao sa likod ng pagkakagawa ng mga ganitong inventions ay tahimik lang, no. Okay? So siguro isa si Diosdado Manataw na isa sa pinakamaswerte kasi kahit paano, no, nakapag-found siya ng sarili niyang company at saka talagang kinikilala yung gawa niya sa buong mundo. His contributions to the modern computer industry include the first single chip, yung 16-bit microprocessor-based calculator to his first company, Mostron, no, the first 10-bit Ethernet CMOS media access controller, and yung physical layer chip, and the first system logic chipset for PCXT and PC80. In short, kung familiar kayo sa Intel, 'di ba? Sa Pentium, sa i3, sa i5, i7, no, na isa 'yun sa mga yung gawa ni Diosdado Banataw, yung naging foundation ng Intel para magkaroon sila ng ganun kagandang product ngayon. Kasi nga, yung invention nun ni Diosdado Banataw, yung microchip, ay binili ng Intel, no, kalaunan. And kung di ako nagkakamali, binenta niya for $300 million yung company niya, no. Tapos nag-found siya ulit ng another company, no. So he keeps exploring, no, at talagang hanggang ngayon ay active siya. And syempre nagbibigay din siya ng tulong, no. Nagbibigay siya ng mga scholarships, may mga foundation siyang tinayo rather para makatulong sa mga Filipino Americans na nasa States at saka sa mga Filipino bloods din. Si Dr. Virgilio Malang naman graduated from the University of Santo Tomas with a master's degree from the University of the Philippines. And one of his famous inventions was the feminine hygiene or the external vaginal cleanser. It was the first advance in feminine hygiene since the invention of the soap. And he even won the Seoul International Fair in South Korea in December 2002 for his invention. In 1996, Rudy Lantano Sr., a scientist from the Philippine DOST, won the World Intellectual Property Organization gold medal for developing super bunker Formula L. This is a revolutionary fuel half composed of water. It was developed in the backyards of DOST in Taguig together with Alco Diesel and land gas fuel. No, this inventions will present a very good alternative to the country's industrial and commercial fuel requirements during these times of rising fuel costs. So, 'di ba? Minsan siguro na iisip natin na parang wala tayong naririnig masyado sa DOST, 'di ba? Tsaka parang ganun ba yung mga Pilipino, masyado tayong dependent sa mga foreign products and inventions kaya parang hindi na tayo nag-iisip ng bago. Well, hindi no kasi meron pa ring mga Filipino scientists ngayon na gumagawa ng ingay sa buong mundo na pwedeng magkaroon tayo ng mga unang astronaut, no? O kaya naman mga sikat na inventions na o dinisenyo ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino. So, kailangan lang siguro natin ng suporta at ng mapalakas pa yung ating campaign for improving our technology no here in our country. So, panoorin niyo itong video na to at makikita natin dito na meron pa rin tayong mga kabataan na pag-asa ng ating bayan in the future.